Hello, everyone, and welcome again as we take another walk into nature. I am outdoors and I am thankful, just grateful for life. I'm grateful for the opportunity that life has afforded me with health and strength and food. And I remember, and I would draw this poem that I recall that goes like this: God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference. And I can tell you this resonates very deeply with me because, in different parts and course of my lifetime, I can recall, sometimes you face situations. It could be abandonment, it could be rejection. But I am reminded, and you too should be reminded always, that man's reject is one of God's greatest and biggest projects. And also life has taught me that there is a time and a season for every purpose under heaven. I can recall there are situations that you thought, oh, I deserve this and I should have gotten this, and you didn't. But I have now appreciate that rejection or that no was God's way of protecting me, because I'm always directed to something bigger and better that is more suited for me. Because we may think we want something or this should be the thing that we should have, but God always takes care of our needs, and the world is His, and He has the final say, and His word can never and would never return unto Him void. So as I take another walk into nature, I am reminded that God makes everything perfect in His own time. It's not my time, it's not your time, but in God's perfect time. And His answer for us would always be yes and amen. So no matter what it is or look like today, and no matter what it appears, be hopeful, have faith. He say if we have faith as little as a mustard seed, we would ask the mountain to move to the middle of the sea, and the mountain will be moved. And so we may have situations that seems to hinder or seems to be persistent. Be encouraged. Seek God's answer and His plan for your life, because remember, His answer to you would be yes and amen. However, we have to walk in obedience, and there are limiting factors, things in our bloodlines, things in our path that holds us back from those promises. So it's important to ask God to search your heart and know your ways and remove every evil thing from within you, because there are times we think we are, I'm okay, I am doing good, but we are not our own, and He knows the heart of man, right? And He would grant the desires, but He needs to work on us. Sometimes we need work. I myself, I'm in the process of healing, and as I mentioned before, forgiveness was a very hard thing for me. because to do and to forgive, because I've been through so much, right? And I would tell myself, you know, but God didn't see how they hurt me. But we also have to look at it when we're thinking of forgiveness, and the strategy is, what have you done that you may require His grace for? And therefore, we are expected to give grace to others. Yes, they may hurt us. It may affect our relationship going forward, and it's okay, but you have to forgive and move on. You may have to love them from a distance. You may have to, take things differently. Like, for instance, you have a co-worker relationship, so you may have to work on that relationship on a work basis, cordial, respectful, but work related only. It could be parents. You have to love and forgive them, but you have to have boundaries, and you may have to love them also from a distance. But in all, God gives the strength. He gives the courage. He gives us what it takes to go on. He mends all broken hearts. We have to give Him the chance and the opportunity. So I am here on a trail, just walking the path, and there are other people walking. And interestingly, before me are two roads. So there's a road on the left and there's a road on the right. And those two roads, I would end up the same path once I take them. And this just brings me to the thought that sometimes, don't be afraid to take the road. Sometimes we take the road, one appear longer, one may be shorter, but at the end of the day, your destination is assured. So for one person, they may appear on the road on the other side very quick, right? It appears quick. You don't know what their situation, you don't know what it is going on that lead them to be faster. Follow your path. Follow the path that God will lead you to follow. Be obedient, because His word says obedience is better than sacrifice. And I had to learn this the very hard way many times. You making the sacrifices and you investing and doing the things, but ask yourself, are we obedient to the call of God? Are we obedient to what He's telling us that we should and shouldn't be doing? Are we paying attention to the things that we have to cease and desist from? And I am reminded always that it's either God's way or no way, because in spite to, and God, His grace is sufficient to keep us from falling. And despite of what we may go through in life, His grace and mercies is beyond anything in this world. His grace, His love for us, His mercies, they are past finding out. And so today, as I walk through this path, as I walk on this trail, I am reminded of the beauty and His love for us, and the environment, the things that, sometimes we take for granted. Somebody else may not have that sort of green space, but whatever space you have today, make that space count. Tomorrow is not promised. Life is beautiful. Once you have life, you have hope for redemption, you have hope for healing, you have hope for your purpose. And as I continue on this trail, I am coming up to some steps, and I would share the steps with you shortly. But as I proceed, and before I get to the steps, take your step. Some may run up by 4, 5, 6. However, you can take your step towards life, towards transformation, towards change. Whatever step, each and every one of us is aware of the step and steps that we ought to take. So start on your step. I started on my steps a long time ago because I realized I had to. It was important. So whatever you need to do to take those steps, finish those steps. Even if you have to wait before you move on to the next, even if it will take you longer. But the word here is take those steps. It is important and it is very vital for us to take those steps. And as I path with you, I want to share the opening poem that I had said before. Unfortunately, I cannot give the author credit because the author is unknown. It says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. There are things that we would never be able to change, but we could adapt. You know, we could look at it from another vantage point. You know, so we accept the things that we cannot change. Courage to change the things that we can change. Because there's a lot of times we are given the okay by God to use the courage to change certain things in our life. And He also has given us the wisdom to know the difference. Always. And as I look at the steps, these are the steps. It goes all the way up to the top. And I would take these literal steps as well as I will take the steps that is required of me in life to change the things that I can. And I have enough wisdom to know the difference between those that I cannot change, and it's of God, and those, and I have to wait on His perfect timing, but change the things that I can. And I end this live at this point showing you the greenery and the space and the beauty of the great outdoors. It's a beautiful day to be alive and well. You know, God is grateful. And I remember and I share with you the fruits of the Spirit. For His word tells us in Corinthians 13, for the fruits of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and self-control. He said, with such, there is no law. So go with love. Be the change you also want to see, and take those magnificent steps. Be encouraged.